Assalamu alaikum students, this is Majid Tahir, your teacher for computer science. Today we are doing P2. A-level course code is 9618 and for O-level course code for IGCSE is 0478 and Cambridge 2210. Let's start. The topic is again P2 programming. Today we are going to talk about types of programs. So let's start. First, we are going to talk about the types of programs in computer. Now we have three types of program. The first type of program is called sequence program. Then we have selection programs, and then we have repetitions or loops. We also call them iteration programs. So first we are going to see the sequence programs. Now in the sequence programs, statements are followed in a sequence so that the order of the statements in a program is very important. So the sequence program may look like this. You will have input, some processing, and output. Now input is basically the program will start with begin. So this is the start of the program. User inputs the data. Some processing is done on the data. The result is output on the screen, and then the program ends. Now let's see how the sequence programs work in flowcharts and in pseudocodes. In my previous video you have seen the basics of flowcharts and basics of pseudocodes. Now today we are going to see how they are actually working in the program. First we are going to see the sequence flowchart. Let's see. The program starts with the terminator symbol. We talked about that in the previous video. So start is in the terminator symbol. Then we have an arrow that shows the flow of data. Then we have input. There are two variables in this input, num1 and num2. They are storing number 1 and number 2. Then arrow. Now there is a process symbol that tells us that number 1 and number 2 is being added and given to sum, and number 1 and number 2 is being multiplied and given to product or prod. Then we have output symbol, where output is given, sum is, and then whatever value in the variable sum is going to be displayed. And then another output is given, but the product is, this is the statement that is given on the screen, and then whatever variable value will be given in the product will be given over here, and then arrow, and then end or terminator symbol. Now let me explain you what these things are. So input, number 1 and number 2. This number 1 is a variable, obviously is going to hold some value in it, and number 2 is another variable which is going to hold some value in it. Let's suppose user inputs 2 and over user inputs 3. Programs goes into the process stage. So sum is the variable where value is being given 2 plus 3. So we will know that sum will hold what? Sum will hold 5 in it, and a product is a variable where 2 multiplied by 3, which is going to hold what? 6. Now in this output position you will have what? It will be displayed sum is, which is actually whatever sum will hold, which is over here, will be displayed over here. Sum is 5, and over here it is going to be displayed product is, and whatever product variable will hold will be displayed product is, and then 6 will be displayed over here, and the program ends. Now this is what basically how the flowchart works. So the flowchart is a graphical representation of a program. We know that we have another type of a program which is called pseudocode. Now let's see how pseudocode works in the same sequence program. So we have begin, which is the start of the program. Now over here we have 4 things, number 1, number 2, sum and product. We have to declare, we have to create the variables in the pseudocode. Then we have another variable declare division, for example, is going to hold data real. Now over here I explained you last time that if all the variables have the same data type, for example number 1, number 2, sum and product, all of them hold integer data type, so you can separate them with a comma. Over here you can see the comma is separating them. But if you have a variable with a different data type, you have to declare that variable separately. So we are over here, we have declared 4 variables together because all of them had the same data type, and we have declared division variable separately because it is of real data type of decimal number. Then we have print enter number 1, and then number 1 will be input, and print enter number 2, and number 2 will be input. Now over here you have to see an important thing is that a prompt is given. So you can see it is written prompt. So when you have 2 slashes like that in the pseudocode, it displays that programmer is writing a comment. So comments are not actually executed in the program, but when you write the comment, it shows that what is going to be what programmer is writing some notes for his own benefit, or for some other programmer, that whoever reads the program understand what is being done in the program. So this is prompt for the user. Prompt is, it is going to be displayed on the screen, enter number 1, and then user understands that he has to enter some value. So user enters whatever value will go in number 1, and then another prompt comes, enter number 2. Prompt for the user, it will be displayed on the screen, enter number 2, and whatever user enters goes into the variable number 2. Then we have sum is number 1 plus number 2. Again, you can see this is a process. Again, another comment showing that it's a process. So number 1 plus number 2 is being added, and assignment operator is given. The value is being assigned to sum. You can also use this equals to over here. Equals to in the assignment operator is one and the same thing. You can use either one of them. Then we have product, number 1 multiplied by number 2 is being assigned to the product variable, and number 1 divided by number 2 is being assigned to the division variable, and then print sum is, and whatever value sum will have will be displayed. Product is, whatever value product will have will be displayed, and division is, whatever value division or variable have will be displayed. So over here, this is going to be written on the screen, and this whatever value it will hold will be displayed. So the sum is, for example, user enters 5 over here and 2 over here. So the sum will hold what? 5 plus 2 is 7. Product will, so sum variable will hold 7 in it. Product variable will hold what? Product variable will hold 10 in it. Division will hold 2.5 in it. So it will be written the sum is, and whatever value 7 will be displayed. So it is going to be displayed like that. Same way product is, and it will be displayed, and division is, and it will be displayed, right? So this is how the program works in the pseudocode. Now let's move forward. Let's, at the end of the program, let's move forward. Pseudocode with output in the program. So begin, declare number 1, number 2, sum, product. We've seen that. Division declared as real data type because it can hold a decimal number. Then a prompt for the user, enter number 1, user inputs number 1, and then prompt, another prompt on the screen, enter number 2. Output statement before the input is called a prompt. Enter number 2. Input, user is going to input number 2 in num2. Then sum is num1 plus num2. Product is num1 multiplied by num2. Division is number 1 divided by number 2. Then output statement, sum is, and whatever sum holds will be displayed. Product is, whatever product will be given will be displayed, and the division is, and whatever division will have will be displayed, and end of the program. So this is the output statement that you're looking at. Now over here, see, this is basically output in the, this is called prompt, that we have enter number 1. So user has entered 90, which goes where? Which goes in number 1 in the variable. Then another prompt output statement before input, enter number 2. So whatever user enter goes into number 2. Now sum is, now this is the process which computer internally did, and then this portion is basically displayed. So sum is 170. This statement, because sum is, this is displayed as it is on the screen, and the sum hold value of 170, it will be displayed. Product is as it is over here, and the product value is this displayed. Division is as it is written. Division is, because it's the output statement in inverted commas, it will be displayed like that. Division variable had this value, it will be displayed. All right, so this is very simple. The program, the sequence program works in a sequence. So first you have declared the variable, then you've input the variables, then the processing is being done, and then output of the program. Let's see another program in the structured English first. In structured English first, let's see another program. We have done that in the previous video. I will put the link of the video over here so that you can see this video of program basics before you watch this video. All right, so input number one, input number of miles, calculate number of kilometers, output calculate result as kilometers. Now this is what this is, basically structured English statements. So the statements are basically structured English statements are these statements that tells the user what to do. Now I told you last time that highlight the keyword means that input number of miles, output. So these are the variables that we need in input and output, so we know what to do and what to calculate. Now let's see identifier table. So this identifier table tells you that what type of variables are needed. So the variables that we need are miles and kilometers. So we know that miles store the distance of miles and kilometer store the distance of kilometers. So whatever calculation is going to be done on the miles will be stored in the kilometers. Now see the same flowchart and the pseudocode of the same program. So start, input number of miles is going to go in the miles variable. Kilometer is equal to miles into 1.61. So this is the process symbol, and then process is shown in the process rectangle. And then parallelogram output kilometers are, this is going to be displayed on the screen, and whatever value kilometer will hold will be displayed. And end of the program. Same this thing in the pseudocode. Begin is for start, declare miles comma kilometer as real. So we have declared two variables, miles and kilometers. We've created these two variables. The data type that they will hold will be of real data type. Then output, this is the prompt again. Enter miles, user will know what to do after being displayed that enter miles. So user is going to enter some value which will input into the miles variable. Then calculate kilometers equal to miles into 1.61. in output kilometers are, and then whatever value kilometer will hold will be displayed in another program. So let's see one-to-one statements of the pseudocode versus. So start is basically begin. Now this declare and output and input, these are three statements which are not over here. Basically when we input miles, we understand in the flowchart, we know that user is going to create two variables, miles and kilometers. This statement can be written over here. For example, input, you can write down enter miles and then comma, and then you can write down miles. So you can do that in the input symbol. So it has let me just make it a little. Enter miles. So it is going to be in inverted commas, comma, and then miles, and then bracket close. So this is going to be these two statements equivalent to this one. All right, then kilometers is equal to, this is the process symbol. So this is the process in pseudocode. Then output over here again in end symbol of this. So pseudocodes and flowcharts are both codes that are going to be a help for the programmer. They can see the pseudocode or see the flowchart. Flowchart is the graphical representation of the program, and pseudocode is basically program like statements where programmer can see the code and they can develop the code in their own programming language. Now let's see some codes in the programming language that same program and the same pseudocode are going to be reflected in the program code like that. So now see, now I am going to show you, this is the VB code for Visual Basic. So this is Visual Basic code. Now Visual Basic is very close to pseudocode. One-to-one statement is exactly equal. So sub main is, you can relate it as a begin, and end sum is like end. So this is basically a declare miles and kilometer is in Visual Basics. For declare we have a keyword of dim. So it is basically declaring, so miles and kilometers. miles and kilometers as decimal. So we know that real data type is actually the decimal data type. So in Visual Basics, you can write down decimal instead of real. Output statement in Visual Basics is console.writeLine. So this means that in a console window you're writing something, and whatever then you write is in speech marks or inverted commas is going to be displayed on the screen, just like in the pseudocode. Then we have input. So in the console.readLine means program reads whatever is in the statement. It is going to read that and put that value in miles variable. So input miles is this line. Then this is the same process, kilometers is equal to miles into 1.61, same way. And then output statement, console.writeLine, I told you this is the output statement in Visual Basics that write this line, and then kilometers are, and then and symbol for comma, and then kilometer, whatever variable had the value will be displayed. Now let's see how this program is going to be output of the statement. So when you run this code, this line is going to be displayed, enter miles, which user can see and understand that he is going to enter something in the miles. So user enter some value, let's suppose 60. So 60 goes where? 60 goes in the miles variable in over here. All right. Then program automatically calculates it, multiplies by 1.61, gives it to the kilometer. Then this line is being displayed, or output kilometers are. So kilometers are written as this value is going to be displayed on the screen in inverted commas, and the value actually is 96.6. it is going to be displayed, which was actually in the kilometer variable over here. So this value 96.6 is going to be displayed. So same code we are going to see now in Python. Same pseudocode that we have just seen versus the Python code. Now let's see, let me show you how Python works. Python doesn't have begin or declare command in it. You have, for example, when you write miles is equal to, now float is the keyword in Python for a real data type. So when you have to give a real data type, you write down float, means that it is going to take a real data type. Input and enter miles. Now this enter miles is basically what this is, this statement, that output statement which we called prompt is going to come, and then input is basically this statement. So these three lines actually declare output and input is merged into one line of the Python code over here. Then we have the process symbol over here, which is this one. Kilometers are miles into 1.61, and then print kilometers are in whatever value kilometer hold will be displayed, and then program ends. Now this is what it works like. Now this is output statement. Again, enter miles, user has entered 77. So over here in the miles variable, user has entered 77. Now this line worked. So 77 multiplied by 1.61 gives us this value, 123.97000001. So the computers are actually, actual value is being displayed in the computer. So this is how the sequence program works. So sequence program works in a sequence. First you have begin, then you declare some variables, then output statement, then input statement, then process, then output of the result, and then end. So this output that comes before the input is called, again I have told you that this is the prompt. So prompt is that user has to know what to do. So output statement tells user what to do, and then it takes input and then processes it and does some output. So this is it for the sequence program. We will come back with another video of the selection program, in which we will do if then else and the case of statements. So stay connected. Please subscribe the channel. I'll see you again in another video very soon. Stay connected. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.